if somebody was to ask, well, what's the purpose of exercise?
Absolutely.
It's almost such an obvious answer that you wouldn't even ask that question. We almost need to start talking about meditation in that same way.
Absolutely.
Which is, it's such an obvious benefit. People are just confused when they hear the word meditation, and they just think that it's something new, like we're introducing something new into Sikhi. So, like, what would you say is the reason for someone to even try meditation? Whether it's sort of more generally tried and tested meditation techniques, or whether it's specifically Naam Simran, like, what are you trying to achieve? Why can't you just go and read Gurbani and just kind of learn the meanings of what it's saying and just understand this concept that there is a oneness and we're all connected? What do you reckon the need is for actually trying meditation?
I mean, so for me personally, my perspective on why anyone would want to entertain or should entertain meditation as part of their sort of daily life is effectively, if you want to understand your mind, and you want to understand yourself, you need to observe your mind and you need to observe yourself.
That's a really interesting way of putting it.
And so for me, meditation is a, very broadly speaking, again, this umbrella term of meditation that we're currently using, it is an approach of introspection and observing your mind, and therefore hoping to learn more about yourself. Now, why should that mean anything to anyone? Why would anyone want to learn about their mind? Well, effectively, once you start to look at your mind, you start to see the triggers of what are healthy behaviors and perhaps unhealthy behaviors, and what triggers and emotions and thought patterns lead to your suffering, or just not feeling great. We don't have to use big lofty words like suffering, but just not feeling great on a particular day, or just feeling a little bit better. So to start with, I mean, putting all the very esoteric spirituality stuff aside, it is just a process of, like exercises, you would advocate exercise to your parents and people who have never come across exercise as being this approach of, well, if you apply some physical exertion, it will be better for your health in the long run. Well, likewise, introspection is a process of, it can be quite difficult to start with, but it is good for your mental well-being in the long run. So that's a very effective starting point for me, which doesn't have to do with anything mystical or spiritual. It's a very practical daily practice to just be slightly healthier and happier. But to sort of again extend the metaphor of exercises, with exercise you can do a light jog in the morning and be slightly healthier and happier. Or you can become an Olympic athlete and be really sort of, on your game with this particular form. And meditation is likewise. It depends how far you want your interest in the mind and your place in the world to take you. And what we've seen from Sikhi and other sages and other traditions as well, that it can actually have some quite remarkable and transformative effects if you delve deeper and deeper and deeper. But I think it has practical, useful, and almost immediate benefits from anyone that actually wants to try it.
I really like that analogy of looking at meditation as exercise. And some of the questions just almost become irrelevant, because if somebody was to ask, well, what's the purpose of exercise?
Absolutely.
It's almost such an obvious answer that you wouldn't even ask that question. It's just so obvious. Well, why? Of course you want to do exercise, because it's just good for you. It's good for your health. It's good for your heart and your muscles, and it's good for burning fat and all those sorts of things. And I think in the same way, we almost need to start talking about meditation in that same way.
Absolutely.
Which is, it's such an obvious benefit that it's good to do with sort of stress relief, knowing your own mind, understanding your reactions, as kind of you said, understanding why your emotions are kind of reacting in a particular way, and almost just knowing who you are a little bit better. It's kind of just going in and searching who you are. And I think that's a misconception that a lot of people make, is that they already know who they are, because they know their name, they know their likes, their dislikes, they know their job, they know all the thoughts that are inside their head, but they don't necessarily understand why they react in a particular way, and what they can do when they're in those situations.